Here's another video. This is in Leicester in England. Okay. This is a group of pro-Palestine protesters who have shut down a factory of the Howmet weapon factory in Leicester in England, preventing what they say is production for Israel's warplanes, which they claim are being used for genocide. So they've gone in and they've started affecting production. They put up barricades, put up banners, and the factories had to get shut down. Okay, so let me get Group Captain Jha back into this. Group Captain Jha, now when polarization and especially communal polarization happens, who's wrong and who's right quickly becomes irrelevant. I don't think you'll manage to convince any person in the Palestinian cause that they are wrong and Israel is justified. I don't think there is any way of explaining to Israelis that after children have been held hostage, that they don't have the right to defend themselves. But my question here is, there is a war on there, but there's also a war on everywhere else, and this starts having consequences, political consequences, economic consequences, just day-to-day living consequences. What do we do with this?
Rishabh, you must be wondering, yesterday I had sent you one article.
Yes.
Title was Guterres blunders justifies Hamas, shames UNSC, and this is not in isolation. He has done it numerous times. Not only he, his deputy for the human rights, Volker Turk, he has been doing it for last, so many, he is of course president of the Human Rights Commission for last 1.5 years, but before him, there was a lady, even she had been doing it. Look, this mentality has to go. This, golden egg called OIC cannot dictate the world. Recently, it has happened recently, Sweden, Denmark, there one chap has burned the Quran and it has gone into the mob. That is the answer. The Muslims, wherever they are, they have the habit of living, responding the mob mentality. The moment mob mentality comes, then this university example that you have given will happen. The Lister example you have given, that will happen. And remember, just another 10 seconds. Remember what has happened with the Indians, the Hindus, just about 3-4 months back in the UK. Remember that? See, it has been happening. That mob mentality is the one what has to be tackled.
But like I said, then this is I think I'm trying to put out a point there. If you are then the police in the UK, the police in America, your government in America, what do you do with this?
You have to be firm.
And so it is now a policing crisis which you didn't have last week or 2 weeks ago. You have it now. Ambassador Suresh Goyal is also joining us on the podcast. Ambassador Goyal, we've just shown 3 visuals which are taking place far away from the front line in Gaza. In a college in the United States, Jewish students had to be locked up. They were barricaded, locked in a library by pro-Palestinian protesters. We've seen in Cyprus street fights happening between Israeli Jews and pro-Palestinians or pro-Hamas, whatever you want to call them. In Leicester in the UK, a factory has been shut down because protesters claim they're supplying ammunition to Israel. These street fights are now happening all over the world. What do we do?
Rishabh, I think that was more or less expected to happen. Once this fight in Gaza, the Palestinian issue, has come to the forefront of the world consciousness, and please do remember that the Palestinian issue has been the longest festering issue that we now have in the world, even before the World War II. It is dating back from the World War I, 1917 Balfour Declaration, when the the British masters decided to create a state out of Israel, out of the Palestinian land without even agreement of anyone. Anyway, that's a long history. But 75 years old issue which is festering without any solution, even after the solution has been found, there has been no implementation of the two-state solution, which one thought would be the most justified. And therefore, once this issue blew up again, it was only expected that all over the world there would be protests, there would be signs and demonstrations, either in a support of one or support of the other. Now, most of the demonstrations taking place are in support of Palestine, but I think what we need to do, two things, Richard. First of all, we need to basically allow the freedom for people to protest, but peacefully, without really going to the extent like closing the factories, shutting students or shutting people inside the room. That cannot be allowed, and that the government of the country concerned must take action to avoid such happening.
Yes.
And number two, most important, we have to give indication that the talks will not take place for a solution to Palestinian issue, without which these things will keep coming up.
Okay, all right. So it looks like it's going to get worse. These developments across the world, we are calling it World War C. I'll leave it to our viewers to guess what the C stands for.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.